Yeah, well, I think we had plans on having a good return game regardless. He just got his opportunity and made good with it. Peyton Logan was brought in as a very, very good returner in this league. So, and then just played out the way it did, and Trey's emerged as a top-notch returner in this league.
Is it fair to say that the return game has won a couple of games for you, or is that too much?
I'd have to go back and look, but I guess if there's 2 return touchdowns in a game, you could say that that's probably an accurate assessment, that it's won at least one game. But yeah, good field position and timely returns we've certainly benefited from that.
How big a deal is that? How important is that in the context of
Well, field position is that's what the game's about, right? It's a turf war, so you're always battling to get better field position. I think it's not just our return game. I think our cover teams have done a great job too. Our kickers have done a great job. Our punting and kicking and our cover units have done tremendous. So I think it's an overall, the special teams as a whole for us has been a good phase, very good phase.
We don't talk about a ton, but Jammer's having a real good season. I guess the punt cover teams have. Sergio's kickoffs he must be number 2 in the league in kickoffs, so wager.
Yeah, I don't know. He's good though.
What have you liked from Jammer now? He's getting more and more used to Canadian football.
Yeah, I think he's a very smart player, and he uses the field well, and he uses his cover team extremely well. He puts them in spots that our guys can cover.
Yeah. Trey Bobble had said, "Thank goodness I don't have to return against Jammer." You see why he might say that?
Yeah, I mean, he puts them in tight spots, right? So the majority of the time, our guys are running down the field covering in a tighter area, which is obviously beneficial for them.
I was going to ask you, just talk to Tony Jones, and he was talking about the Hamilton game and then the Edmonton game, the 3-phase win. And basically what he said is if this team doesn't get in its own way, it can be really good. And maybe that's what every team says. But
Yeah. I think so. I mean, if you're able to put 3 phases together, it can look more like the Hamilton game. I'm not saying it's going to look exactly like that, but it can look more like that. But I would say it's rare that you're really getting, all 3 phases firing with all 8 cylinders or 12 cylinders. At once. You like that, and there are moments in games where it's always like that. But I think on good football teams, whatever phase has difficulty on that series, the next phase has to come in and fix it. And as long as you keep getting that to me develops into 3-phase football. As long as the next phase responds to the previous outcome, the previous phase's outcome, I think you can do a lot of damage.
It was kind of a weird one in Edmonton when you look back at it, because the defense holds Cody to under 150 yards passing. They score on 102.
Yeah.
And then the special teams gives up the score, so the defense did their job, and yet it looks like,
Well, I mean, a 62-yard 3rd and 2 play is not something you can afford. Those explosive plays force a fumble and it gets returned for a touchdown. Those are explosive plays against, and it just shows you that there are several factors that add up to wins and losses, right? And you need to take care of those sort of important metrics, right? And you can play really well, and then one of the other metrics will rear its ugly head in a negative fashion, and it could cost you.
we always said, like, this team was so good in those moments, making the difference-making plays in the last few years. So why is this team not doing it as much as other teams in years past?
Yeah, the forced fumble, Nick Hallett forces a fumble at midfield on the punt cover team, and that's a great play. And then it just is wacky. It's a football. It's not round, right? So it goes skipping around and bouncing off guys and squirting out from underneath people, and you know, it's like, that one's a great reminder that you just have to keep playing every single play. You get caught watching, and that's what happens, right? But how the ball bounced and our inability to get on it and their inability to get on it for the first 3-4 tries, right? It's just not very comical, but it could be that. You know, but, I mean, that's sometimes the way the game goes, right? But you'd like to just fall on it right there, right, and end that play.
Can you update Nick's Stimpy status either one direction or the other?
Not yet.
We took a step.
Well, we'll issue our report at the end of the day, whenever time that is. Okay,
Fair enough.
thank you.